And it wasn't because he wasn't a good player. And it wasn't because he wasn't gritty. And it wasn't because he wasn't a good guy. It was because he didn't do his job in school. So you hear it from mom and dad all the time. Do your homework, do this, do that. And all you guys, a lot of you probably go, come on, let's get to the TV. Where's the Xbox? Where's the whatever? Twin boys, 10 years old, they come home at 1C, there's no lacrosse. Simple as that. I do not want my sons to be me. I want them to be like their mom. I want them to be better than I was. School is really important, fellas. Even if you're in 5th grade. Because in 5th grade, you know what you're developing? Habits. You're developing habits. And what you do every day is what allows you to be successful. You guys understand that? You young guys, yes or no? I can't hear you. I'm a big response guy. What was that? That's awesome. Okay, I'll wrap it up with one last thing. We talked about school. We talked a bit about the process, and I'll answer questions if you'd like, if that's okay with you. But let me tell you what's more important than how good a lacrosse player you are and how good a student you are. It's what kind of character do you have? Anybody know what character is? Do you know what character is? What's our definition of character?
What you do when no one's looking.
Thank you. It's what you do when no one's looking. It's easy to do the right things when mom and dad are looking over your shoulder, or your coach is looking over your shoulder, or a teacher is. It's really hard when you're in that classroom and you don't know the answer, and you know it's important, and you look around and there's no one looking. And you look at the desk behind you and you get the answer. Character doesn't do that. Character does what's right all the time. And at Hopkins, we don't recruit the best players. That young man was not the best player in high school. But I'll tell you what, he's the all-time leading assist getter at the midfield in Johns Hopkins lacrosse history. Amy, I don't know if you knew that. Okay? That's a big deal. There have been some great players. He has great character. And that's what coaches want, is great character. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I promised you I'd tell you a story, so I'll tell you that quick story about being too small. 7th grade, Hicksville Junior High School, big gymnasium, sign up day for lacrosse. I go to sign up, and it's my first day of signing up for organized lacrosse ever. I've never played before, just with my neighbor. Andrew DeQuilla was his name. Okay, nice Italian boy. Taught me how to play. Had an orange quick stick with blue mesh, thought it was the greatest stick in the world. You guys, do you know what a quick stick is? Never heard of it, have you? You have. They don't make them anymore. So I go to try out, the gentleman walks up to me, big man, looks at me and goes, son, what's your name? Kind of look up and meekly say, Dave Pietramala. He goes, what grade are you in? I said, I'm in 7th grade. He goes, come back next year, you're too small. Devastated. Home crying. Now, I'd grown up with baseball. My dad tried out for the Cincinnati Reds. Got beat out by a guy named Joe Morgan, so all the dads will know that guy. He got beat out bad, actually. But I was a baseball guy. My dad, he was my coach. And that was it. I told you I quit. And my father tried to talk me out of it, and he couldn't. So I went back. Well, fast forward, 1987. Johns Hopkins is playing Cornell University for the national championship. And there's a guy on the Cornell team named Tim Goldstein. He was a great attacker. He was the player of the year. I had the good fortune that year, because we had a great goalie and a great group of guys. I was lucky enough to be named the first team All-American. That all came out right before the national championship game. And I learned a valuable lesson about being a good teammate then. So, Bill Tierney, many of you know that name. Hall of Fame coach, maybe the greatest coach ever to coach, my mentor. And they come around the rooms, and the night before the game, they give us our matchups. And I'm sitting in bed waiting, I'm waiting to hear, you got Goldstein. And they walk in, and they look at me, and he goes, you got Myers. And I was like, I have who? And he goes, you have Myers. I said, I have who? And he goes, do we need to talk about this? I said, we absolutely do. And he brought me in the hallway, and he said, listen, it ain't about you. It's about us. And it's about winning. If you want to win, this is what we need to do for the team. Okay, say no more. I'm a team guy. Disappointed, but I'll do whatever you want me to do. So the next day, we play. We win by 1 goal. And we're going through, shaking hands, and as you can imagine, the jubilation after winning the national championship. Aside from getting married and the birth of my children, pardon my language is not appropriate, there ain't nothing like it. It is awesome. And I get to this guy and I shake his hand. It's number 27. I shake his hand. I covered number 27 in that game. I shook his hand and I look up and he's a little bit bigger than I am. And I was 6'4" at the time. So he was 6'5", 6'6". I said, you be sure to tell your old man I'm not too small anymore. That was his son.
No.
And I know. Yeah. So, funny story. Funny story. Tell me what I can answer for you and how I can help you. You guys are really fortunate to be a part of a great club. I think what you're doing here tonight is it's a positive experience for the young guys. You're trying to build a family, and this is exactly how you do it. You bring people together, you get to know each other, you work together. So before I step down, please let me know if there's anything I can answer. Nothing's off the table. I'm happy to answer a couple questions before I go. And if you don't have any, I can't imagine I did that good a job. Anybody? Any of the young guys? Yes?
What's your off-season workout program like?
Rigorous. So the question is, what's our off-season workout program like? We used to go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We used to go 4 days a week in the off-season. And then we're permitted 2 hours a week of lacrosse. So the 4 days was strength and conditioning. And then the 2 hours was skill development. So what we do is right now we break up the skill development into small groups. And we work with groups of 8, groups of 9, so we can really hone their skills, shooting, dodging, stuff like that. And we do that twice a week. And what we've done is we've kind of taken the tack that less is more. So instead of going 4 days a week and bringing them up every day, we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we go for 2 hours. We're allowed 8 hours. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is 2, so that's our 6 for strength and conditioning, and then the 2 is for the skill development. And I would tell you, we do an awful lot. They walk out of there at 8:30 in the morning, and they've had a full day's work. It is, we deal with nutrition now. We have guys meeting with dietitians, nutritionists. We got guys on special weight gaining programs, weight loss programs. We've got guys working with our trainers so they don't bring injuries from the off season into the season. So it's probably really not much different than football. So I hope that answers your question. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
You talked about the type of person that you'd like to recruit. You made an emphasis on character, but how can you judge somebody's character when you watch them on the lacrosse field at high school level and say, well, this is the kind of guy that we want? You're really looking at his athletic skills, and that's the kind of kid you want to recruit. But the character is so important. How do you get to judge somebody's character and know that they're a hot player?
The question or the comment is, how do we get to know a guy's character when we only see him play? Well, we have to do our homework. It's phone calls to the high school coaches. We will not take a young man until I sit with him and his family in my office and I have an opportunity to look him in the eyes. We have them, a lot of them will stay the night with our players. So it's interesting what they're like with you and what they're not like without you. So we get that from our players, and our players, as Kevin would tell you, they know